Hi guys, good afternoon. Today's the 25th of May. Now we are going to take a quick look at a trade that I took yesterday. So I took it on a 1 minute again, and I was very careful on this one just because it was very near New York Open, and every time the 2:30 bell rings, there's always like wicks to take out the previous liquidity from um London or it's just the reactions are pretty like we get long weeks when New York opens. So I was actually really debating as to whether I should even enter the trade as to before the bell. I thought look for opportunities after, but then I knew there was like I think there was news yesterday, and so I was not I was just yeah, it was not a trade that I was 100% convinced. But anyway, I went in and took a very small lot size and so yeah, this was the trade. This is how I planned out. So I came in at this entry because I was expecting a fall on US30. So I was only looking for sells at that point. And so I put my stop loss. Initially, I was thinking of putting my stop loss to this sell side liquidity, which was at the top of this. But then I realized that, we had a previous high here, which gave us another sell side. And I did think that New York might actually take this out, the liquidity. So I put it slightly above. And but it didn't, it just went midway. And this was the New York candle really at 30 and then it tanked right down, giving us this. Now, I didn't take a 1.5 risk to reward ratio on this just because I drew a zone up here. And right where the zone happened, if you notice, price was teetering. Can you see? And then it did go up for a small retracement, and no, actually, it did go back almost up to our entry level and then did a tank. So obviously, if I had taken it down further, we could have hit our 1.5. But I was not willing to stay in the trade longer than it should because I was also looking for retracements to happen, so I was not willing to risk it, if that makes sense. So came up with this. So the win here was $900 ish, I think, and so it was a 0.9% win yesterday, which was amazing, right? So and it was only one trade that I took. So there we go. I'm not going to be doing the whole update just because I think that, so I've shown you guys here. Maybe I'll do it at the end of the week again just to show you guys a weekly update on the challenge and see where we are. So let's just do a quick analysis. I'm just going to delete all of this just so that the charts are kind of clean. I'm going to also off all this. I'll leave this one. Maybe. Yeah, okay, I'll leave the zones on. Okay, it looks so messy, I swear. Like, so US30 today is still tanking. I'll show you guys where I drew this line. I think, okay, so it was on a weekly where if you look at price, right? So price is here and it's just resting. You see, the thing about this trend lines is that every trader draws lines very differently, and sometimes they work fine, sometimes they are, we just make a story about them. So I just feel like we do need to take trend lines with a pinch of salt. Like, okay, that's not the only confirmation that I basically love to just go off. I just use it as an eye just to see if price and the candlesticks actually respect that or not. But most often than not, it's just one of those extra confluences. Okay, so on a weekly you can see there was so it's basically bouncing off this line. Now I do expect US30 to come down to around about 32,000, which is into the zone here, or maybe even further down, just because there is sell side liquidity. But having said that, just based on the weekly trend line, if it bounces off this support resistance level that we have, which is around 32,500. Now I am then looking to buy this thing up now. Okay, so right now at this moment, I US30 to me is still bearish, so I would be still keeping an eye for sales on this unless we do see like break of structures and full on reversals on the lower time frames. But we do have to bear in mind that we do have to obviously do a retracement here. Even if US30 is going to be tagging, I do feel like we would get some retracement at some point, guys. So these are the key levels of interest I'm looking at. So you can see there's a sell side liquidity up here, but that's right up there, so I'm not going to worry too much about that right now. my thought is like, would US30 hit this trend line, and what happens when it hits the support resistance zone here at 32,500? Okay, so to me that's an area of interest, and obviously this zone where it reaches 32,000 or even 32,200. I didn't really draw support resistance lines at this area yet, but yeah, I would say 32,200 would be a nice one here roundabouts. But again, I'm just waiting to see what price would do. But I do think I am looking for sells today if there's any good opportunity that sets up. I haven't really checked news, guys, so do check your news to see if there's any red folders today. I'll do that real quick, and then I'll tell you guys as well what I see on my end. But always check for red folders, guys, if you guys are like going to be trading, because I think it's super important to um, understand news and when it hits. So today, 25th. Oh yeah, so we've got red folders today at 1:30. Okay, let's see. What about tomorrow? Oh, tomorrow again. So tomorrow is CPI for JP JPY pairs, and then we have got core price index. Okay. So both these days may prove to be a little bit volatile. Unemployment claims as well, guys, at 1:30, which is in an hour from now. So I'm literally not going to be taking any trades whatsoever at all until all this hits, and then maybe later towards the day I'll see what price is trying to do, and then if it gives me any signals. But yeah. So this is obviously a downtrend, which is my 200 moving average. This white line which you see across here is my 10 moving average, which I like to use as well. So obviously I've not used my 21 and 50, which is normally what I have, but I do like, just because I trade pin bars a lot with my other live account, and I kind of like to always see rejections of the 10 moving average, 20 sometimes, but I prefer the 10. But I'll show you guys quickly what is looking at moving averages, what that looks like. Okay, there we go. So you guys can actually see it's quite messy right now. Look at this. So this would not be a chart that I would take. Forget, it's not even like about the half trend or house week. So if I'm going to on all of that on, you can see how messy they look. So even if they're giving me signals right now, I'm just not even going to go in. I just think that price is all over the place. I don't like it when price does that. I like it when price gives you a nice like rejection of the 10 and it stays so within. See, this goes up to 50, rejects that off, and this obviously did a fake out here, and then it decided to tank. But yeah, so I'm just going to close this up so it's not messy. I'm just keeping the 10 and the 200 on just for simplicity, just to give me an idea. But roughly in my head, I do know that, obviously 20 to 50 will be somewhat there. Now, we did have a nice one during when Asian Open, finally. When Asian Open, we had a nice tank, actually. I'll show you guys that. So if I were to on back my half trend and my house suite, we did get a signal print here, which I think would have given us a trade, but I didn't take it though, just because I was telling myself, like, you know what, I don't like to be stuck in Asian trades because they're actually so slow. But yesterday we had one candle move, which was really fast, which is just a one-off, guys. So this was a trade. I didn't take it, by the way. I'm just marking up for you guys to see. My stop loss would have been here. And if I had to put it to 1.5, yeah, roundabouts, it just touched it. Look at that. So this is just about 1.52. So yeah, it just touched it. And then it just came back to the zone again here and bounced off really. And right now it's teetering off. So I still do think we are going to be expecting a drop, guys. I really do. But at the moment, there's really nothing to be taking because signals are not really fantastic. Um, yeah, no. Okay, so I'm going to wait for news to react and then see what it's going to do, and see if there's anything good setting up. Otherwise, I'm just going to let it do what it's going to do for today and hopefully reject off the zone that I'm looking at. And and then take it for buys later tomorrow, and catch the pips upwards to the retracement. And we'll draw the fib tomorrow to see what happens. Tomorrow's a Friday, so we'll see what happens on a Friday. Let's if it's going to catch a retracement to a certain level, and then possibly Monday there might be a drop again. We'll just have to see what price really does really. Okay, so hopefully we get some nice moves later. Right now price is very much just ranging in between this area here. If you can see, I am just going to turn this off so you have a clear picture. Okay, so you guys can see that, like, you know. So yeah, so this was just a break of structure, which was a fake out, and it came back right back down, and right now it's just teetering here. So I'm not even going to attempt to do any of these trades right now. Okay, guys, so I'm just gonna wait for news to hit, and then just take a break from the charts and come back way later and have a look to see any signals print, and then we'll take it from there, guys. All right, happy trading, safe trading, and as usual, if you have any questions, pop them in the comments below, and see you guys in the next video.